to the masters. Break it down!
Yeah, Payton, hello.
You don't want to know the things that are in my head. That was just one of the many voices that I hear, and I don't want to do it.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly. Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. The Bodyslam.net podcast is the only name we could come up with.
For now, exactly. Yeah.
My name, I'm the contributor, not the contributor. I'm not doing that college bullshit. But anyways, I'm Payton Vince, and I have a co-host. His co-host is my co-host. And yeah, so anyways...
who am I?
Is the owner / booker / head writer / big cojones / goat lover.
Oh man, nah man, not really. They make noise. You ever heard them? They're loud. The guy next door to me had a bunch of goats. Fucking sucked.
Man, well, never lived out in the country, so I would.
The man who lived next to goats. The man. Anyway, it's me, Cassidy Haynes, owner, founder, head editor. I don't know, whatever you want to call me. I do things. I make stuff happen. I'm the make shit happener of Bodyslam.net.
Yeah, and I mean, plain and simple. I mean, the only reason why I brought you here today because I don't even know why.
It's because I'm awesome, dude. And you were like, I need somebody like to carry this, to carry us to the promised land of like having maybe 12 listeners. And I'm like, dude, I could probably get you 4. So we're gonna see what we do. We're gonna see where it goes from here.
Meanwhile, there's me, and I'm just thinking, out of all the people in the room, there's probably at least one that would listen.
You got people in your room?
Don't tell my girlfriend.
Dude, she's not going to listen.
There's a good chance you're right. Well,
anyway.
The reason why I brought you here today, and all of our listeners, what should we call our listeners? The Body Slamiers?
We'll let this organically grow. It's like you can't nickname yourself, man. You know what I mean? You can't be that guy. You can't be that guy. You don't want to be that guy, and we're not going to do that to them. We're going to let them figure this out.
You know what we should do? We'll already plug the social media already.
Let's do it. Push it out. Push it out, baby. Like a baby. Let's go.
Oh. That was a contraction. The Twitter is at Bodyslam. Is it just .net or just net?
It's Bodyslam, both, but the main one is at BodyslamNet. And then we have a backup account just in case for some reason I end up in Twitter jail. We can still get some Twitter action, and that's Bodyslam. Spelled D-O-T, bodyslam.net.
But what fans listening to the podcast should do is go to Bodyslam.net, and you, the people, not we the people, you the people, should come up with a nickname for yourself. We'll end up maybe running a poll. Maybe we'll
Didn't we just say you can't nickname yourself? Well, I guess we just contradicted ourselves. If we can't nickname ourselves, then why we just tell them to nickname themselves? But I digress.
Because it's a democracy here.
Maybe it's because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We're just winging it. But either way, hit us up on the Twitter machine and let's figure out what to call ourselves.
And also, while we're talking about social media, I could give you my Twitter handle and what I call myself on Twitter, which is at Payton Vince. I don't know why I call myself at something.
That's really creative.
And Cassidy, what the hell's your Twitter?
It's at Casshole with 3 O's. So it's at or ampersand. Do people still call it an ampersand or is it just an at?
I think it's just an at. Just like at the pound sign, it's just a hashtag.
Yeah. Kids these days ruin everything, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, at CASSHOOOLE. That's my personal Twitter.
So anyways, actually getting to quote-unquote serious business because, we're never going to get to serious things and serious business and serious things and serious business. Anyways, so you had a weekend.
I had a week. It was more of a week than a weekend.
Well, you were busy.
I was busy. I've been very busy in the last week. Yeah.
And you were in the city called Baltimore?
But prior to that, my friend, I made a pit stop on my way out of Asheville by way of Charlotte, and I was at Dynamite on Wednesday night.
Ah.
And then I hoofed it north and drove my ass the 7 or 9 or there's a 9er in there. I drove myself way up north to Baltimore the next day, and was there for Starrcast for the weekend and Full Gear on last night, Saturday.
So, let's break down Starrcast. Why don't we just, like, I mean, obviously, like, I wanted to tag along. I wanted to come with, but, you know.
Yeah, you had an invite and you no-sold me. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, somebody needed a ring announcer somewhere, so I guess I had to step up, but.
Yeah, because those are hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, at least the good-looking ones, because I'm an ugly.
That's true.
I'm an ugly one, so I mean, they obviously got the short end of the shit that way.
Yeah, where were you? What promotion were you ring announcing for?
Ring announcing for Mega Championship Wrestling in Elyria, Ohio.
Who was on your card this week?
So on my card, there was Derek Direction versus Atticus Cogar, Atticus Cogar was also in GCW with Ricky, Shane Page, and Greg Iron, and
that's my dude.
Yeah, see, you know those people, and
Gregory's my dude, man. Greg's my homie. That's my guy. He's written for the site before. You should check out some of Greg Iron's podcasts on Bodyslam.net, and he's got his own podcast, Iron on Wrestling. Throw a bone to my homie out there. He's got some good stuff already out. Some good interviews.
Man, you know what? It's like we really know how to do this podcast thing. We should just.
Have we ever listened to podcasts before?
I listen to music.
No, I mean it's like right. I mean, it's one of those things. I think anybody can do it if you can speak. If you can speak, you can podcast nowadays. So I think we're good.
Yeah,
we know the language enough. I'm from the South, so I guess I know the language, but we're.
And I'm from the Midwest, so you know we say.
Wait, aren't you from Ohio? Is that the Midwest?
I think so, right?
I don't know. Is the Midwest like Missouri?
You know, I'm from Ohio. Let's just put it that way.
You're from Ohio. It's just its own thing, and it's like I'm from Ohio.
You know, like it's November 10th, and we already have a snow warning already. Yeah, I'm from there.
That's what's up.
And we
Congratulations.
Also do, so that's cool.
Yeah. So who else was on the card other than Greg?
It wasn't Greg. It was Atticus Cogar and Derek Direction.
Oh, you were just saying he was in with Gregory Iron in GCW before.
Yeah, so it was relatable for the people because I'm a man of the people.
I gotcha. We were just dropping names just to fucking bring everybody in on this.
Yeah, exactly. It has to go full inner circle somehow.
Yeah. All right. So that was good. Anything else? What else did you do? That's why you missed Starrcast and Full Gear with me, just because you had to announce that one match.
No, it was actually a whole show. There was a cage match, though. There was a casket match between Jocelyn Navarro and Megan Myers, which it was the weirdest thing ever, but it was a casket match that ended in no contest because of disappearance. We still don't know where the hell they're at, so that's really weird. Like the lights went off.
I got a question. Did you say it was a cage match and a casket match? Like it's like a double gimmick match, or is those two separate matches?
Two separate matches.
Okay, why are you booking so much like gimmick and stuff on your card like that? Come on, man. You can save the casket match for another card, do the cage match this one. You can't. What kind of indie show double blows out with their gimmick matches like that?
Hey.
You need to get in his ear. You need to get in his ear, my man. Tell him that's just bad business right there. You gotta give him something to look forward to next month, man.
Yeah, but next month is Night of Champions, in which there's...
is there like 3 cage matches and a ladder match and a fucking barbed wire match?
I guess you're going to have to find out. Stay tuned.
Oh, that's what's up. Cheap plugs. I like it. And what's that called? Is that a teaser?
I think it's called a pleaser.
I don't know. You only named 2 wrestlers on the whole card. I don't know how pleasing it sounds. You didn't sell me on it.
I was just naming some of the matches. You know, I mean... You'd have to end up pretty much being there, or else getting a DVD.
Oh man, is it on VHS too? Is it on VHS?
So let's pick things up from wherever the fuck we were.
What happened to you? What happened there? Why don't you fill everybody in on why you ruined the podcast already tonight?
My girlfriend called me.
Is that excusable?
Yeah.
What did you tell me earlier?
I'm sorry.
We had a discussion about which P we're going to go for.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always
you-
Payton.
Yeah. Well, and you were like, you got to go with the podcasting. I'm like, yeah. Well, anyway, so what were we doing? We were talking shit about stuff. I think. I was being snarky and sarcastic and kind of a dick. So I apologize to you for that. So what were we talking about? Where were we? What were we doing?
So we were talking about Starrcast.
Yeah, okay. What about it? What were you asking me about it? Where were we at?
What are your top 3 things from Starrcast?
Well, I mean, I did pretty much everything. I only missed a couple panels because I went to everything, but it was all pretty fun, man. I mean, it was set up really different than the last ones have been. So the venue, it was in like a music venue, and everybody was up. They had the panels up on the stage, and then there's bars all around, but there wasn't a lot of room for the meet and greets really. And they had them kind of off to the sides, and the lines kind of wrapped around the building. So there was a lot of ambient talking and noise, and it was loud at times. So I don't know. It made it kind of hard to hear and do recordings and stuff. But I mean, it was fun. I mean, they had a good little collector's corner. It was nice with all the little vendors and things for you to spend money on and people to talk to, and it was good. I mean, I liked it. I really enjoyed the which panel did I like the best? I mean, oddly enough, it was I really liked Colt Cabana's one with the jobbers of wrestling or whatever. The guys that it was like George South, and I just love listening to George South talk. George South is awesome. So George South, and then I think Bob Starr and Barry Horowitz and Dwayne Gilbert. Those 4 guys came out and told some stories. That was good.
Oh, Gilbert.
Yeah.
Oh, what an interesting fellow.
Yeah. What else happened? That was good. Ron Simmons was good. That was a good podcast.
Damn.
Or a good what was it called? Panel. My brain's fucking long week of doing shit. I went to the Tony Schiavone birthday bash the first night and did that for a little bit. That was kind of cool.
What happened there?
A thing actually apparently happened that you may have read about on the internet. Have you read about it on the internet?
I have. That's what happened there.
Where did you read about it on the internet?
Bodyslam.net.
Wait, really? Who wrote it?
It was some
Was it me?
named Cassidy.
Yeah. There was an incident, a situation that went down later in the evening after is after Tony's thing. I think it was after Tony's party celebration, but before the karaoke and like cover band gimmick that they had going on. Because I saw the tail end of it. I mean, I saw Jimmy out in the parking lot. But if you haven't read or hadn't heard it, there was an incident at the Jimmy's Famous Seafood on Thursday night between AEW commentator Excalibur and AEW roster member Jimmy Havoc. And the two got into a little bit of a, what's it called? A fight, I think is the best way to put it.
An altercation.
An altercation of many different levels. It was interesting. And then, but I saw Jimmy at the tail end of it. I saw him out in the parking lot. I saw the end of the night. So I knew that it happened, but I eventually found out what it was. And for those that don't know, apparently something him and all, it was like a verbal, I don't know what started, but a punch was thrown by Jimmy Havoc. He missed. Excalibur kind of grabbed him and put him in a chokehold and, choked him. And then here comes security to break it up. And, because Jimmy's about out, they thought. So security's trying to break it up and talk Excalibur into breaking the hold. So he does. And then shortly thereafter, Jimmy pops right back up, mad as a hornet, I guess. And drunk as a skunk, apparently, too, by the way. And threw a punch, connected. Then there was more of a brawl, pull apart, where everybody's trying to break it up. And then some kind of situation with a fork and maybe a neck stabbing or an attempted neck stabbing. Either way, it resulted in Jimmy Havoc getting dragged out by Atlas and thrown out, and he was unhappy about it. Then Excalibur came out to try to talk things over, and Jimmy was just not having that because he was drunk and angry. Threw his phone, missed, hit the wall, it was just an ordeal. But they talked it out. He was just drunk. They worked it out the next day. Everything's good to go. And he worked MLW on Saturday. That's why he wasn't at the show. For anybody that thinks that might have been any fallout repercussions for that, as there will be none, apparently. Tony talked about it in the scrum, which I was at afterwards. He addressed the whole situation. What I think he said that he's seen worse. But yeah, they definitely had a fight, and they're good to go now. They worked it out, talked it out. It was just one of those things. But
So just your regular Thursday night.
yeah, I mean, it sounds like a Jimmy Havoc Thursday, I guess.
I guess.
I don't know, but yeah, so that went down, and that was interesting. That was Thursday night, first night, and then Friday was the main day, I guess. Where like Friday and Saturday were the 2 days, but Friday was your big day, I guess, because you had a lot of your big meet and greets. You know, the Bucks and most of the AEW guys were there Friday, and then Sting, I think. Was Sting there Friday? Sting was there some days, either Friday or Saturday. I think Sting might have been there Saturday. Now that I think about it, yeah, he was.
Oh no, there I couldn't tell you.
Huh?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh, that's right. You didn't go. Yeah, Sting was there in full Great American Bash war paint and jacket from '92, or '91 or '90, whatever year he was in the red, white, and blue. '90 when he won the belt. RoboCop was there, which that's Capital Combat. They're mixing their pay-per-views. You know what I mean? I'm not. Who am I to be critical about it? You know what I mean? It's you're taking Capital Combat from Washington and mixing it with Great American Bash in Baltimore. They were the two pay-per-views that year, but whatever, you know.
Whatever works. I mean,
RoboCop was a pretty cool little cosplayer, though. It definitely wasn't. Is it Peter Weller? Was that who was RoboCop in the movie? It definitely wasn't Peter Weller in the RoboCop suit. But that RoboCop suit was legit, man. It like was animate. It was made noises. It was like robotic sounding, and it had sound effects with it. And I think a female might have been in it. I think it might have been a woman inside the suit. So, but you know,
that's interesting. I mean, it is 2019, so you could do whatever you want.
A woman can be a RoboCop. Who am I to say she can't?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
I'm not holding anybody back. You know, but I'm pretty sure she seemed short, or the RoboCop seemed a little short, but it was cool. It was a good costume. It was really cool. So that was fun.
So, also speaking of Starrcast, did you get a chance to check out Orange Cassidy's meet and greet or anything that he was doing?
It was going on. I didn't see the meet and greet, and what actually happened to be part of the panel that Taylor Williamson, he did like a live variety show, and it happened. It was the last of the night on Friday, and honestly, I dipped out early to go meet. My buddy was in town. My buddy was your replacement, the guy that since you didn't want to go. I had somebody else come in and take your free Starrcast badge and your ticket to full gear. So I had to go meet him at the hotel, and by the time he got there, you know, I mean, it was going on already. It was a 15-minute drive from the hotel, pretty much to the venue for Starrcast.
Gotcha.
So we were like, you know, we'll miss it. So I watched some of it on. I turned it on Fight, and I watched some of it on there, but I missed a little bit of it. I didn't realize they were going to be out there doing their thing until I saw Twitter and turned it on later. But yeah, I ended up going and hanging out with some of my buddies on the roster and chilling with them and hanging out and doing stuff Friday night afterwards instead. I kind of went off script and went and ditched the tail end of Starrcast that night.
But I mean, all's fun, love, and war, and I guess you're allowed to have some fun even when you're working. I mean,
yeah, man. I mean, I put in a solid day, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So overall, that was pretty much your highlights from Starrcast.
I mean, everybody was there. I went around and talked to everybody. You know, I know a lot of these guys, so I went and said hey to a lot of the people I know. And while they were doing their meet and greets, I wasn't going to cut. I mean, there were lines and stuff, so it wasn't like I had a lot of time to get in and do anything. I just popped in and said hey to a bunch of the guys, and just, you know, it was fun though. I walked around, took in the whole experience, and just listened to as many of the panels as I could. It was a good day. The one I really wanted to hear the most was on the Great Muta one on Saturday, but it was so loud. And it's Great Muta, and I couldn't quite understand him or hear him very well, so it was just like, it was that was a little bit of a disappointment because I couldn't tell what was going on, but oh well.
Oh well, and then you ended up seeing Full Gear though too. So.
Yeah, we went. Well, Saturday. So yeah, because Saturday I went in early. There was some meet and greets going on Saturday. I think, like I said, it was Sting and a lot of like those guys, like the nostalgia ones were going on that day instead of the AEW guys were the day before. So I went there and hung out and did that.
Jim
Do what?
Meet and greet going on Saturday? Or?
He didn't. I don't know if he did a meet and greet, but he had the panel. So he had a panel that morning.
Okay.
And so did I think Muda had one in the morning, like I said, and so did Crockett had one, and there was a bunch going. It was, like I said, it was a little bit loud during the day, like when you're in there, because people were lined up literally through where the panel's going on, the live show, around the back to get their meet and greet. So you've got like just hundreds of people in line waiting, and they're just talking. They're not really listening. So you had just 200 conversations going on at full volume around you while you're trying to watch the show. So I missed a lot of stuff on Saturday just because it was pretty packed.
But you did be in the show, though.
I skipped the Women of WCW one as well. I hung out through the Ron Simmons panel, and then I left because I had a question I was going to ask, and I kept trying to get the dude to come up and get to let me ask the question, but he kept no-selling me and running away. But somebody ended up eventually asking the question. They asked Ron Simmons about what he thought about the Jordan Miles for the culture, racist WWE, shit that he's going through. So that waited around for that, and then that was pretty much like right at the end of his panel. But that was fun.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, he said, "Who the hell is Jordan Miles?"
Well, that didn't end well then.
Yeah, that was Ron Simmons' reaction to it. He's like, "Who the hell is Jordan Miles?" And he was like, "I don't know who that is." And he tried to explain it to. He's like, "He's ACH." He goes, "That doesn't help." And then he was like, "What's the shirt?" And he explained the shirt to him, and he's like, "Is that supposed to be something?" He didn't understand. He didn't get it. He had to explain to him why it was racist. So Ron Simmons was like, whatever. So I was hoping he was going to get a little bit more into the whole ordeal, but yeah, he kind of didn't know or didn't care or thought it was stupid. It seemed like, but whatever.
Well, shit happens.
Yeah, he had some good stories though. Ron Simmons had some good stories. Talked for almost 2 hours. That was good. And then I went to Full Gear. I had to go check in early. Well, had to go write the article about the Jimmy Havoc thing before the show. So I left, skipped the Women of WCW panel with like Missy Hyatt, Medusa, and I think maybe Baby Doll might have even been there. I don't really remember.
Possibly.
I skipped it. But so I dipped out and went and worked for a little bit, and then I had to go check in early. I had to go check in at the arena at like 6. So I got there early and got set in and got my spot and got ready for some wrestling, man. It was fun.
Overall, I mean, I didn't get a chance to see the show either, but I got a basic idea of what happened. And I do want to break something down because I don't want to give away the whole entire show. I don't want to.
It's already happened. It's not we're not spoiling it for anybody. I mean, they didn't watch it. If they didn't watch it, it's on them now. So let's talk about it. No, let's spoil.
All right, spoil away. All right, so
so ask me away. I will spoil the shit out of it. Let's go.
All right, so Chris Jericho beat Cody because of MJF, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, who didn't see that coming 3 months on the wall ago? Or however the saying is. Like that's been
right.
They've been setting the seeds and planting the seeds for that one for 3 months now. So I saw that coming. I think I told you that I thought it was going to happen, but I enjoyed the way they did it. Like I saw a lot of people upset about it, thought it was stupid, but I thought it was fantastic. I mean, it was great.
Do you think with like the kind of like the ruling that like with Cody saying that if he loses he'll never challenge again is kind of at the point of an exception now?
No, Tony Khan talked about that in the scrum as well. If you go check out our YouTube page, bodyslam.net on the YouTube's plugs. There's the full Tony Khan post-scrum interview, and that was asked, and he said that as far that it's going to count because the stipulation was it doesn't matter how he lose or how he went, how he won or how he lost. If he lost the match, he was never going to challenge for the title again. So Tony Khan said he was under the understanding that he's no longer going to challenge for the title. So I think that just makes that blood feud now that we're going to get between Cody and MJF that much more meaningful and intense. He took something from him that he wanted right in front of his mom. It's bad guy stuff. How much more bad guy can you get in that? Oh, and you kick him in the balls in the middle of the ring too. Right, bad guy stuff.
I mean, like you said, he got kicked in the ding right in front of his mom. I mean, that's never good.
No.
So, anyways, though, I'm kind of under the impression that there's always a way around a stipulation like that, and I still believe
I'm sure what they'll do is they'll tie it in storyline wise later. Like if he defeats MJF or whatever, it nullifies the decision or something. I don't know. Who knows?
or if MJF becomes champion or something, and then Cody.
Yeah, there's a way. There'll be a way to work it around it. But Cody doesn't need. In my opinion, he doesn't need the belt. He's the EVP. He doesn't have to do. He doesn't need to put himself over really. He can draw for the company just as much, not as a champion as he can as a champion. I think. And
yeah,
the belt's Jericho. I think the belt deserves to be on Jericho. If you're legitimizing your belt, the first champion should be one of the most decorated world champions in the biggest wrestling company in the world's history. Chris Jericho should be a Hall of Famer, first ballot if there was such a thing. I agree. In my mind, I would think that everybody should agree. So you put the belt on him to instantly give the belt world credibility worldwide. And he should have the belt for a long reign. He won the belt last pay-per-view. If he lost the belt this pay-per-view, that's a very WWE way of booking.
Right, exactly. And plus, the common, wrestling fan that WWE isn't their cup of tea anymore.
Yeah, they're doing long plan storylines. That's what these guys are doing. Tony talked about that, too, in the scrum, that, they're invested in long storylines and short tell, it's certain. Him and Paige talked about it too. That 4 weeks of TV leading up to a pay-per-view is just not enough time to tell a story. So they're doing quarterly pay-per-views. Tony said they'll have 4 pay-per-views a year, I guess. He's going to announce the next one soon. They're going to come back to Vegas in Memorial Day in May, and then I guess they're going to do for Labor Day. So those 2 are set, and then. He talked about probably coming back to Baltimore. So I think Baltimore might be another one. They don't know exactly if that's going to be those 3 cities every time, but
and then they might
at least Chicago and Vegas or those pay-per-views will be in those cities. All Out or whatever, and Double or Nothing are going to be Vegas and Chicago pay-per-views every year apparently. So
and as long as they're traveling around state to state weekly too, you're still at least feeding in some of that audience too, so that people in my area, for example, are around me, because even though Chicago is the furthest away, it's still a hop, skip, and a jump away, from there out east, New York area, Pennsylvania, Ohio, whatever. It's out there.
It's a good city for it. They've had good. Obviously, good history there. The last 2 pay-per-views, their last 2 shows they've done have been huge successes. So you come back to what helped you get started, I guess. It makes sense to me.
Right.
But
exactly.
Yeah, it's they talked about the storyline. I got off topic because I do that because I ramble. But they said that they don't rush storylines. So I see we look for a nice long. I expect a nice long Cody and MJF blood feud to. I would go with a nice year-long feud that takes forever to progress, with no quick payoff. It should not be over after the first match. You know what I mean? Between the 2.
Right. Just keep on having a couple no contests.
We've already seen that with Pac and Hangman. They've had 2 matches already since they've been here, since they've been running, and they're going to have another one on Wednesday. The rubber match is Wednesday night in Nashville.
Okay.
Pac Hangman 3. They announced that at the scrum. They also announced there'll be a tag team title match. SCU will be defending the belts against the self-proclaimed number 1 contenders, because the tag rankings are out, but these guys have never lost as a tag team. They have wins under their belt, and it's Les Champions. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara will be challenging for the tag titles on Wednesday night as well. And he said he's going to be he's going to be Le Double Champion, he said.
Double. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah. And you can watch that interview as well on the Bodyslam.net YouTube page, where I've got the full Chris Jericho scrum interview and SCU interview where they address it as well.
Awesome. All right. Well,
and Hangman made jokes about what he wanted the next pay-per-view to be called and to be, and he wants it to be cowboy shit. Is what he wants the next pay-per-view to be.
Okay.
And he said he wants the setup to be chaps, just 2 legs with chaps, and you come through the openings of the chaps for the entranceway. That's his vision. He said.
So like you're being like shitted out.
He said he wants people to come in and out of him, and I said I thought that was bad phrasing, but nobody laughed at the joke. I did. I think I was the only one in the room laughing at it. So you can hear that on that interview too. I think you can hear me chuckle. So yeah, he was making jokes. Then Tony Khan supported it. He said he supports anything with Adam Page and Chaps, which I thought was a weird statement, but whatever works. I mean, cowboy shit, bro.
Dude, true cowboy shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I understand the joke of coming in and out of things too. So I mean, it is what it is.
I bet you do.
You're the one that laughed at it. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was softballing you up one there, so I was hoping you'd take a swing at it.
Yeah, I think I swung that out of the park too.
I don't know. It might have been a deep foul.
Well, at least it was down the line.
Yeah, it was down the line. It had some distance,
Yeah, but it's hooking.
Ooh,
Foul.
Man, it's foul.
Speaking of hooking foul, really quick, just another softball up for you. You're a Braves fan, and how far did they make it in the playoffs?
So here's the thing about you. You can go fuck yourself, sir. It's a hard being a Braves fan. It's very hard, and that's. Hey, do you remember '95 though? What happened there?
Yeah, I know. You didn't have to break.
Wait. You're an Indians fan, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So we have one world title in our fucking history, and it happened against you. So I'm glad you set me up for that one. That's really what you were doing, right? You're like, hey, I want him to be able to talk shit about the Braves beating the Indians in '95.
All right. Well,
But hey, we're gonna go baseball for a second. Did you see the moves we've made already? McCann retired, so we re-signed and somebody Markakis, and we optioned. I think we pretty much are letting Tehran go. We didn't pick up his option, I don't think, and a couple other options we picked up. So we're gonna have some guys around, but I don't think we're gonna have Tehran around anymore.
Well, I mean, I will give you credit. This isn't a baseball podcast, whatever. I don't know how to speak. What am I doing? Anyways,
let's pivot. Let's get back to the wrestlings, because that's what these fans want to hear us talk about is dudes wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. And
not dudes baseballing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's one more match I want to break down, since this is kind of like
okay. Well, then I'll talk. Then you can ask me some more stuff. There was a lot of good stuff on this card, but let's break down some matches. Let's do this.
All right. So I don't want to make this podcast super long, because I know some people end up getting super upset. So we'll kind of make this like a preview one. But let's end up talking about Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega with their unsanctioned lights out match that kind of brought back shades of the old Jon Moxley before his WWE.
Oh, did you see all the CZW nods and homages in that? The match, it was full of them, man.
Barbed wire,
the tangled web, bro. That was the tangled web. That was what that was. The barbed wire thing they brought out. They just didn't say it because they don't want to put DJ over, because nobody wants to put DJ over. So
right.
Yeah, no. I mean, the tangled web. That was a nice little spot, and they did it was a lot of sugar glass, but still, I mean, it looked good. I think, some barbed wire. The barbed wire spots were nice. I like those. Those were good.
And overall too, I mean, obviously since it's unsanctioned, and I feel like AEW is going the unsanctioned route for matches that don't count against your record, but you could still get your quote unquote death match still.
They're not going to have a lot of those. He said he doesn't want that to be a regular thing. He doesn't want it to. Tony addressed this as well. He doesn't want the death match, unsanctioned lights out death match thing to be like a. He doesn't want to water it down. He doesn't want it to become less meaningful, I guess. So you don't want to do it too often, because if you do it too often, there's no real novelty to it. It's just there it is again. So. I mean, they've had a few of them already, but you say you didn't think there'll be another one for a while unless it just fits storyline-wise with how everything's going. But I thought they did a great job. That was by far one of the most mainstream death matches you'll probably ever get, and they took it to that limit. I mean, they didn't go CZW style where there was lots of blood, real blood. I mean, there was blood, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was good. I thought it was good. What did you think of it? How did it look? You haven't seen it, have you?
I got to see pieces of parts via social media, but I mean, from what I saw though, it looked like something I obviously wouldn't want to be a part of per usual.
Yeah, it was. There was definitely a lot of stiffness to that match. It came off good in the arena. I don't know how it looked on TV. I'm gonna have to watch it when I get back home. But it looked good for my seats, man. It was that Kenny spot when he hit the exposed wood when Moxley pulled the canvas and the pad out. That was I could hear that from where I was sitting from my seat. It was pretty solid. Excuse me. Had a little soda I burped up there. It was very rude of me on this podcast, but I thought it was very good. I thought they kept it just. They didn't go overboard to where like people could really complain about it being a garbage, like just bloody, just pointless, just trash wrestling. I mean, they brawled, and they used a little bit of it. It wasn't excessive, you know what I mean? Everything was gimmicked, you know?
Right, of course.
So, you know, but it looked good. I mean, I thought it looked really good. The crowd was way into it, man. I mean, it was an awesome feel to be in that building during, I thought, because, I mean, you got to see the crowd, there was some CZW chants going on. Moxley got into those. It was nice, man. I thought it was a really good, I mean, I guess you have to have that last, you know what I mean, because it's the unsanctioned, like, at the end of the night match, but I feel like the world title match probably should have been the main event, but.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the basic understanding, like the way I would look at it too. But just going a little bit further in that match, is that like the final match for now between those two, or is there another rematch that you heard about for?
They didn't mention it, but I don't see that program ending right away. You know what I mean? I don't think they're gonna. I mean, they can maybe dull it down a little bit, but I don't think their feud's over. I don't think they're gonna end it like that. You know what I mean? I think they'll carry it on a little bit. Because he said Kenny was hurt a little bit. He doesn't know if he'll be there Wednesday, but if he's not there Wednesday, he'll be back next week.
And
so I guess we'll find out.
One step further, like with Moxley and Omega supposed to face off at All Out, do you think that this match, like the unsanctioned Lights Out match, would have necessarily happened if if Moxley ended up not being taken out of that match and Pac stepping in, or
probably not? I think we got this because we missed it at Chicago. You know,
so it was kind of
I think it changed the direction of the program and where they were taking the story. So when the injury came up and they changes, it ended up taking us this route instead, where they ended up escalating the heat and the feud, like getting a little bit more. Because you would have had a match already. Instead, you built to this match,
Yeah, and it was a really good build overall.
We would have had him jump. From there, we've already had a match. We kind of have them like, all right, what's going to happen in the rematch, and then what's going to happen. We're going to have to get a rematch. You know what I mean? They're not going to. You're not going to accept defeat, and if you know what I mean, like when you beat me once, I guess that's it. They're gonna keep it going. Like I said, they're going to tell long-term storylines. And I think that their storyline is not over yet.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. I guess for now, I think we should end up.
We're not going to talk about the tag team title match?
If you wanted to, I was a little surprised. Like, I didn't end up watching Dynamite this past week, and I was a little confused of the setup to it. And it kind of seemed a little bit out of nowhere. But if you wanted to break it down and kind of explain how it got set up. And
I really don't know why they decided to make the winner of that tag match on Dynamite inserted into the tag team title match at the pay-per-view. I'm not sure the reason behind that, but it's weird because Private Party was involved in they just started a little program with my dudes, my homies, man, the Hybrid 2, and I was like looking forward to seeing where that goes because we had 2 weeks of like build for that, and then it just kind of got dropped, and then next thing you know, we got Private Party going to the pay-per-view for winning that match, and the Hybrid 2 didn't even get booked on the show, but they'll be back next week or whatever. But still, it's just kind of like, well, that stopped that program, they had to change that, so I really don't know. I don't think there was anything that came up that would have made them change plans. I think it was just like they just decided to put them in that match, probably to I can't remember who took the pin, but it was probably just to help the save some face for those teams that are the other teams in the match.
I mean, like,
if I had to guess, you know what I mean? SCU won, but I think SCU took I think SCU pinned Private Party, didn't they? Or did they pin one of the Lucha Brothers? Do you remember? I can't remember, man. My brain.
I
it's been a long weekend, man.
Did not see it, so I won't be able to give you an answer. I mean,
why don't you pull it up on the Google machine? I can't do it because I'm driving home from Baltimore right now, bro.
Google works. Okay.
It's okay. There's a website. www. Period. GOOGLE. Period. COM. No. That's a different site. Google.com. You don't want to Google.com. You want to Google.com. Yeah. That's a different. That's another different podcast. We'll get into that one later. That's the After Hours podcast. We don't want to get into that one right now. But no, just I can't remember who took the pinfall. I want to say I think Private Party did. So I think that's the reason you put them into that match, because now the Lucha Brothers didn't. They saved face, because they didn't get beat. If that's how this went down, and then SCU still retained, so they, your tag titles didn't swap hands on the first pay per view either. So they got a nice it looks like they got a little bit more run with the belt. So you're gonna have, if I had to guess, that's the reason you do that. I'm not positive, but I would say that that's the reason, because I want to say I don't think Phoenix or Pentagon took the pin. Maybe they did, because I remember Christopher Daniels came out at the end in his Pentagon costume, and him and Pentagon had a stare down, and then there was a little beat down session, and Christopher Daniels unmasked. So he came back, and now him and Pentagon are going to feud. I think they're wrestling this week.
Okay.
Actually, they talked about that. They talked about them having a feud soon. They're going to wrestle soon, a singles match. Daniels mentioned that. So I maybe that's why you do it. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get Daniels some revenge, and you're going to do some other little things, and you don't want to lose the momentum of, because rankings and wins and losses are important, and I guess who takes the pin is probably going to be as important too. So I assume that's why you book it that way, but that's the only
put
reason I can
the
figure
final nail in the coffin, the bow on the wrapping paper, the peanut butter to the jelly, the bananas to the jam.
Are you the peanut butter to my Falcon? Have you seen that movie? I'm going to off topic you again. Wrestling movie. This is a wrestling related question. Have you ever heard of the Peanut Butter Falcon?
I think so, but I'm not.
The Shia LaBeouf movie with the kid, the special needs kid. That's I think and they go on an adventure together to go. He's going to teach, the kid wants to be a pro wrestler, so Shia LaBeouf takes him and just breaks him out of his home where he's being cared for, and they go on an adventure to go teach him to go learn to wrestle. And I'm pretty sure Jake the Snake Roberts plays the guy that he's going to get trained by, and his name is he wants his wrestling name to be the Peanut Butter Falcon. Yeah, it just I think is out really soon. It was in theaters. I think it's out soon for to watch, but it's on my list to watch when I get home from this fucking 9-hour drive. If I don't watch it tonight, I'll watch it the next day or two, and I'll let you know how it is. But Peanut Butter Falcon, I'm going to tell wrestling fans, if you like movies and you like wrestling, it's a movie about wrestling, and it might be.
So,
good.
anyways, getting on topic, and then letting you get back to your 24-hour drive.
God forbid I don't talk on a podcast while I'm driving. That'll make the trip go by so much slower.
There's other things, people to see, people to talk to, people to listen to, like us. But anyways, the final answer to your question.
Yeah.
The Private Party ended up they ended up eating the pin, and then the Lucha Brothers ended up attacking them afterwards. So that's what ended up happening.
Yes.
That's the truth.
Yeah. Like I said, that's what it was. Yeah. They were there to take the pin and keep Lucha Brothers from saving face, and then Daniels made the save on the attack, and that makes sense. That's what I saw. It all makes sense now. I remember this. I was there. You think I wasn't even there, as much as I don't remember it.
Well, on that note, I know you mentioned something before we ended up recording about something with a goat. So I'm gonna let you get back to that goat.
Man, that's not safe to do while you're driving. I'm just now. Do you know where I'm at? I'm in Bristol.
Man,
I'm just out of
NASCAR.
Bristol. Yeah, I'm in the Virginia side of it, not even the South, not even the Tennessee side of it. Hey, speaking of Bristol, Tennessee,
you are.
Yeah, he's from Bristol, Tennessee. No, fuck no, I'm not. My main man, my homie, my man, the fucking crown jewel,
There you
Chase Owens, Bullet Club's finest, rolling through his hometown. He's not here. I already asked him. I called him. I'm like, hey, are you in Bristol?
Probably
Let's hang
in
out. He's not in Bristol. So, no,
Oh,
he
okay.
leaves Thursday. But he's in. It was either Louisiana or Iowa. I don't know. It was. He told me it was the abbreviation for the state. It was either an LA or an IA, and I don't really know what the fucking like when you put the state down for. I know LA is Louisiana.
I think it's
but I don't know what
Iowa.
Iowa is, so it was one of the
I'm
two.
not sure.
But like I said, it was either a lowercase L and an A, or it was a capital I and an A that he sent me when he told me where he was. So
we'll get back to you next episode.
Well, I'll let you know if you really want to know. Ask me, I'll tell you where he was. But either way, he's not in Bristol, so I'm not stopping to hang out.
Okay.
So when are we doing this again? When are we gonna make a terrible podcast that nobody wants to hear us ramble about again? This was fun for me, probably not for everybody else.
We'll do it again.
When are we gonna do this? Shit, we might even have a name for this motherfucker.
In the
then,
meantime,
right?
though, while we figure out a day, a date, a time, a name, you could become a contributor, a supporter of the Bodyslam.net podcast by going to anchor.fm. That's an FM. I don't know what happened with that accent that just slipped out. /Bodyslam.net /support. And you could support our podcast. There's 3 different options. If you would like to support us, feel free. Any donation would be nice. And that way we could end up still providing episodes. It's not going to be a one-off. So that's always...
Well, we're going to provide episodes even if they don't donate. Don't make it sound like they have to donate to keep hearing us talk about shit that like they probably could care less about. I mean, we're going to keep making stuff. Just hopefully we make stuff they like or they want to donate. You know, let's look at it that way. Why don't you sell that better?
Because
why don't
you're
sell
the
that
better
brother? I'm gonna have to teach you how to promote and fucking market. Aren't you in the business? What the fuck, man?
So, anyways, when are you free next? When can we do a podcast again? All right,
dude, let's do another one
sometime
this week.
later this week. The Bodyslam.net podcast will be coming to you somewhat live.
And it'll be on all types of these mediums, right? We're going to put it on all the podcasting,
it's going to be all
gimmicks,
over.
aren't we?
It's going to be...
It's not just going to be on this Anchor gimmick. It's going to be on, what else? You said we're going to have some SoundClouds. We're going to have one of them Stitchers.
Some Spotify, some Apple Podcasts, some Google Podcasts, some Apple Pie, some Google Pie.
Oh, man. Don't Google Pie either. That's for the After Hours podcast as well, but you can Google. Never mind. That's a callback, and that's not a good one, so we're going to drop that before I make it worse for myself.
On the next note, seeing you again soon. The Bodyslam
Yes.
fans
We will be back.
of the Bodyslam.net podcast, feel free to come up with a name for yourself. Feel free to come up with a name for us. Another callback.
Well, make some suggestions. They can make some
maybe.
suggestions, and we will maybe have a poll.
Yeah, Paul.
Maybe we will just pick at random. Maybe we'll throw darts at a dartboard and see which one we like that it hits. Maybe we'll pull out of a hat. We'll do something. If you submit some suggestions, we will collect our favorites and we'll somehow gimmick ourselves in some kind of game to
And
figure out
again,
how we're gonna name
one
our
more
show.
hit on the social media.
Where can we find you, Payton?
Find me in my house.
You.
Or you could find me
Oh, well, where can we find you on the social medias?
on the interwebs.
On the interwebs.
Specifically, twitter.com at Payton Vince. That's Pay, not Pey, like that other dude.
You mean that other
better
Payton,
one.
the famous one?
Yeah,
The one with the big forehead?
Tennessee.
Yeah. So Payton Vince at Twitter. At Twitter. What are you on any of the others? Are you on the Instagrams or the Snapchats or do you want to give anything else out to the people to connect with you? Or are you just like, I'm a Twitter only guy and everybody else doesn't deserve to know my private
I mean, you can check out Instagram. It'd be Payton Vince, the number 11. And that's another one for you. But that's it. Otherwise, you're not going to be hearing much from me. And then you have that big old casshole, right?
Bro, I'm everywhere. If you want to find my personal accounts, it's at Twitter. It's at CASSHOOOLE. There's 3 O's in there. And that's the same thing for Instagram as well, and on Snapchat, and on Facebook. And, I mean, you can just probably pop it in any of the other ones, and I might have an account on it. I don't know if I use it, but that's probably where you find me. So those are all my personals. And then if you want to follow some wrestling news and support us that way, at Bodyslam Net, that's our main one. Hit us up on there, connect with us. You're on there sometimes, aren't you? Don't you get on there and pop in from time to time?
On
and run it
occasion,
as well?
I end up having the stupid tweets that are always entertaining to me and nobody else.
And it confused me where I'm like, where the hell I didn't write that. And I'm like, did you write this? And you're like, yeah, is that okay? I'm like, that's fine.
I'm just lost and confused, and I'm with the goat.
And I was just like, wait a minute. This didn't write itself. But yeah, man, hit us up, man. Find us, connect with us. We love talking to fans, and I did that a lot of that this weekend, man. If you ran into me, if we became friends over the weekend, and I didn't follow you or give you some information, you hear me bullshitting right now, find me, talk to me. We'll connect, and we will be internet friends, because that's how real friends are nowadays. It's not official unless you're internet friends.
You know what we didn't do? What other people do, but we're not gonna do.
What did we do?
I feel.
What's that?
2019,
Plug the website?
We could also mention the website, which is bodyslam.net, which we said like 13 times. We'll do it one more time. It's bodyslam.net. But we could have gave out our Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, whatever. But let's not do it.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure if you I told you, if you look for Casshole, with 3 O's, there's a good chance you can find me and send me stuff that way.
Oh,
just not dick pics.
Okay. On that note.
I know what you were thinking. You're already taking one. You're like, I'm going to Snapchat you a picture of my butthole.
Exactly.
Like, please don't.
On that note, no topping this podcast.
So,
the best podcast in all of the land.
Man, is that how we're ending? Are we really ending with me talking about your butthole? Is that really how this is?
About right. No, there's no an end to a shitty ending.
I mean, fuck. All right, that just wrote itself. All right, guys, I had a good time. I'm Cassidy. Payton, thank you again for having this idea to start this bitch. Let's see where
hopefully
it goes,
ends up getting past one viewer. Until next time, we'll see you again.
Caw-caw.
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 We'll see you again.
Caw-caw.